Morning, everybody. Baruch Hashem, another day in the Beis Medrash. Today's shir is being sponsored by Isaac Zafir from Farakwe. I do not have a reason for sponsoring other than being grateful student of Rav Eli and the Chabura on YouTube. Please dedicate this donation in the schus of Rav Eli and the Chabura. P.S. Rav Eli mentioned that miracles occur for those who donate to support Torah, and especially the Merkaz Daf Yomi. So I'll let you know what happens. Well, I mentioned that Kalman, also from the 5 towns, said that. He said that he saw miracles. I'm not gonna make fun of it or anything. If people want to believe it, great. Let them donate. You hear, Nachman? All right, so that's Isaac Zafir. David Block. I know, it's just... Dear Rebelli. By the way, you see this? Look in my eyes. What do you see? I've only slept an hour and 40 minutes. I had a family situation. And yeah, like once in a while, you just don't want to show up to the daf. But you gotta go weiter. Today is a half a year exactly to the day that we started Shas. A half a year. So I wasn't gonna let this day be the day that I don't show up. David Hagal from Malibu would be very upset breaking the... So if I'm a little testy, if I'm a loss of words, if my humor's a little off today, Mechila, Slicha, Kapara. Says Reb David Block, listen to this, I love these emails because a person that knows his stuff and gives us a little bit of a insight to some things. Oh, I forgot to bring the picture though. How is the Olam on Zoom doing? Everybody good? Gewaldig. Dear Rebelli, for your information, it makes sense that Boris is soapwort. Your picture of the pink flowers. I forgot to bring it. 1. Modern Hebrew defines Boris as such. Boris and the pink flowers go together. The word Boris is used in non-modern Hebrew as a cleaning product. See the last stanza of the Zemer Keshmer Shabbos. Al kena chabes boy libi kevoris. I clean with Boris. Here's a guy that knows his stuff. Soapwort was and is used as a soap, thus the name, soapwort. Borax is a very good cleaning agent, which sounds like boras. By the way, it is also used in the Middle Eastern cooking like chalva. Have a wonderful day. David Black. Yishkoyach David. Do we have enough? Okay, one more. Dear Rabbi Stefansky, from Lenny Hamel, from Manchester. They pronounce things differently completely over there. Here's a guy from Manchester. Now we're making a lot of friends in Manchester. We had the Manchester Chabura. We have a lot of... Reb Zev Roth. Reb Zev Roth. I know Reb Zev Roth. But Shalom Aleichem. Wait a minute. I know you from Zoom? I know you only from Zoom about the book and the whole... Yeah, okay. Yeah. Ah, your brother-in-law. Very nice. Where's your brother-in-law? Yeah, I know, David Baranheim Shver, Zevrot. Another author. I'd like to congratulate you on your Daf Yomi shiurim. I'm a late comer to your shiurim, just started learning with you on Masechtas Shabbos. I'm therefore behind where you're up to. I love your shiurim, I love the way you explain with your diagrams. Question, is it right that I do it as a late comer, should I jump up to where you are now? Whoa, everybody knows the answer. Of course you jump ahead. Klal Yisrael is on Daf Tzadik Aleph today. 90 daf into Masechta Shabbos. That's where you're supposed to be. Because if you want to catch up on Masechta Shabbos, what's going to happen, perhaps, to a lot of people, is that Shabbos comes Friday today, and Shabbos tomorrow, Sunday, and the excuses start piling up. We'll do it the next day there, you push it off. Shabbos is not such a great day, I need to take a nap. If you're with everybody and everybody's on Daf Tzadik Aleph, tomorrow's Daf Tzadik Beis, there are no excuses. If you take a nap, you're going to miss out. So therefore, you just jump ahead with everybody else and you make up whatever you missed out a different day. Like this, you overcome the Yetzer Hara. The Yetzer Hara is great and tells you, no, let's go from Shabbos, from Daf Beis, all the way through. And there's always something that's going to get in the way. Like today. If I wasn't on the Daf Yomi, I probably would not be here right now. Daf Yomi keeps you going. And I have to tell you, this is one of the most beautiful dapim. I don't know if I was in a great mood this morning, like Lashon Sagino, a great mood. But I started learning the daf, and it's just unbelievable. Like Racham was telling me, oh, maybe the Gadat is over, so maybe less people are coming. The opposite. Today's daf is unreal. I'm serious. Today's daf, the lumdus and the beauty of Torah is right in today's daf. You're going to see it for yourself. I can't tell you what nachas I get from seeing how all your Talmidim love and enjoy your shiurim. May you grow from strength to strength. With my very best wishes, Lenny Hamel, Manchester. Yishkoyach Reb Lenny. We're starting a brand new parak. Daf Tzadikom and Beis on the bottom. What? It's so beautiful here. So beautiful. It's the best. Thank you, Yeshua. You just got a shtickle raised there. Hamatzniya lezera uledugma. This is parak hamatzniya. Until now, we were talking about the different measurements necessary for different foods. Typical food is a gregaris. Certain beans, certain paila mitzri, the seeds of a cucumber, everything. We went through the list yesterday, 45 different things. Comes the Mishnah and tells us a chiddush that we discussed already before, and that is, these shiurim are typical human beings. But there are weirdos out there, and there are people that, yes, they need 5 seeds to plant, but there's a meshugana, and there's a lot of meshugayim, by the way, and those meshugayim, they take 1 seed. They love the 1 seed. And for them, 1 seed is important. Oh, so for that guy, haitzah, the isser, to take out from one rishus to another rishus, is 1 seed. Hamatzniya, if you store something, lizera, to plant, uledugma, to make samples, vilrefua, for medicine purposes, v'hoitziyah b'Shabbos, and I take it out, I'm going to plant now. I'm going to plant. How much? 1 little seed. But for me, it's important. Chayiv b'chol shuhu, then the shear drops. All these shiurim that we had yesterday, and throughout the whole Masechta, we had many, many different types of items. Everything is dependent on his intent. If for this person, his intent is, so let me ask you a question. If for this person, it's 10,000 seeds. 10,000 seeds. And he only takes out 9,000 seeds. Is he chayiv or potter? It goes by his head. He just made it from 10 to 1, from 5 to 1. So what if he makes it from 5 to 10,000? I'm a billionaire. I'm Bill Gates. Anything less than 10,000 seeds, I don't even look at. It's not worth a penny for me. So, yes or no? Could he change it with his mind? You're saying no. Why not? Very good. He's saying you're mevatel das to everybody else. And what about 5 seeds to 1 seed? I'm a meshugana. Which normal person looks at the 1 seed? Wow, it's time for me to walk out into my field and plant this 1 seed. Who does that? I'm also mevatel das. You need at least 5.
1 seed left in his whole. That's it. All he has is 1 seed.
Okay, but it's still bittul das. Okay, so the Gemara is going to discuss. Zog the Gemara, zog the Mishnah. Now, just because I, Eli, like 1 seed, it doesn't mean that if you, my friend, take that 1 seed that you have to put it back, that 1 seed only is for me, a chiyuv, but not for everybody else. I'm the one that put importance on it. What happened? I took out the seed into Rosh Hashanah from my house, Rosh Hashanah, into Rosh Hashanah. Am I chayiv? Yes. Why? Because I put importance on it. Then I said, wait a minute, I'm nuts. I'm going to start planting 1 seed. Let me take it back inside. What did I just do? I just said that the seed is not important for planting. So what is the shear 4 seeds? 5 seeds, not 4, like F-O-R. What is the shear, the seed shear? 5 seeds. So now that I'm bringing it from my backyard into my house, from the Rosh Hashanah into my house, I need the regular shear for everybody else because I didn't change the shear. I changed the shear going from my house to the field through Rosh Hashanah because then it's important 1 seed. Now it's the reverse. Now I said, wait a minute, I'm not putting any importance on that seed. So now the shear reverts to everybody else's shear, and whatever that shear is, 5 seeds, 2 cucumber seeds, 2 pula mitzri seeds, whatever it is. Ask the Gemara, the whole parak is called hamatzniya. Hamasniya means to hide, to store something. But why is it important? It's not the point. The point is that I'm taking something from one rishus to another rishus. I want to plant it right now. And if I want to plant it, that itself gives it chashivos. Why do I have to store it on Thursday? I have to put it in my drawer and say, oh, you see the seed? I'm putting it in my drawer. Okay, great. I want to plant it. And then on Shabbos, I take it out of my drawer and I plant it. Why is that important? On Shabbos, I decide I'm going to plant it. Listening to Amoiti, Lizero Dugmal Refuah, Chai B'chol Shu, Omra Abaya, Hochav Ma'iskinon, Kigon Shitzniyoi V'Shochach Lamo Itzniyoi. Now, Rashi points out a beautiful thing here. Abai is not just saying a tchak. Abai has another problem that we learned in Perik Klal Gadol Daf Ayin Hayom with Beis. This idea of intent, that I in my head can make something chashuv for Shabbos. I don't need another Mishnah to repeat itself. Obviously, this Mishnah is coming to tell us a completely different chiddush. A guy put one seed in his drawer on Thursday with intent to plant it. On Shabbos, he opens up his drawer and says, I got to get the seed out of here. Let me bring the seed to another place. But he forgot why he hid it. He forgot that he's supposed to plant it. Not to plant. Stam. He wants to move it out of there. What we know. What does it mean?
I don't know. Maybe we know it's not too much. Maybe we know.
Oh, it's talking to you.
No, I don't know what it's supposed
Okay. I don't know either. He knows.
He knows.
I don't know.
At least he knows what he
We
means.
know. We means
Two people.
Yeshua and Gary, who hung that other TV up last night. Okay, so we have two TVs. They're not functioning. We know. And a sign. We know.
We know. It's right, we know.
What is it? What does it mean? No, I'm not joking.
Oh, it's crooked.
Oh, it's crooked.
We know it's crooked.
Because I said yesterday that if they hang it, it's going to be crooked. And they said no, but
I didn't say anything.
they, not they, I'll just tell you, he had a level, and the level said that it's straight, but I said it's not straight. And I work in construction, and I overruled the level.
I think it's a good sign. It means they don't have experience in hanging television.
So at 12, what time? They called me up at 12 something, and they said, listen, after we hung it, we chapped that you're right. Okay. You know what they call me in my company? They say, Eagle Eye. Eagle Eye is here. Because I go, that tile's off. You got to redo it. The tile's off. What do you mean? But it's level. No, it's off. Then they bring the laser. Yeah. Eagle Eye. Don't start. And this is the second time in 2 days. Zog the Gemara, I could go on because I'm tired. I have no idea where we are right now. Mao the same, we're holding the Tzadik Aleph where we need to be. Mao the same, I would think that that's it. So, so he canceled his original idea of planting this one little seed. That his original, unless you deliberately remove that initial intent, it remains intact. The intent is to plant. I forgot what my intent was, too bad. The intent remains forever until I say this seed is not to plant. Like we had in the Mishnah, when he takes it in reverse from Rosh Hashanah to Rosh Hashanah, he's saying, and in fact, I'm not planting it, so therefore he removes that machshava, and everything goes back to normal. Over here, the machshava remains in place. We have it many times in Shas, that when a person has one intent, it remains in that object forever, unless there's an opposite intent later on. Over here, there's no opposite intent. There's just a lack of intent. He took it out from his drawer to clean up, but there's no intent. Guess the plant, not the plant. That wasn't the case. Omer Rav Yehuda Mishmuel. Mechayev hoyer Rebbe Meir, af b'moitzi chito achas lezriya. Rebbe Meir, who's Rebbe Meir? All anonymous Mishnahs are Rebbe Meir. So including the first Mishnah in our Perek is Rebbe Meir. Comes Rebbe Meir and says that if a person removes one kernel of grain from one rishus to the other, chayev. If he did it in order to plant, it's one seed. Pshita, what is he coming to add? Kol shutnan, even one seed. It says in the Mishnah. He himself said it. So what he's going to tell us, a new product, one seed of an apple, and one seed of grain, and one seed, okay, we get the point. Every one seed that you want to plant, chayev. Mao the same kol shula puke migor geres. Something similar to what Menachem Mata was telling me in the name of the Taisis Yantiv explaining the Rambam yesterday. That kol shu just means less than the typical shear of a ger geres. Typically on Shabbos you have to take out a dried fig. Kol shu means even less than that. But don't exaggerate. Don't say one tiny little kernel. You need a serious shear. Kolshu doesn't mean a microscopic dot. It means a kazayis. La fuke a gregaris. Kamashmal no anything. Anything that's chosh of a seed. And here comes the question that I asked before. If, according to Abaya, that it's all in the intent, so what if a person had intent the opposite? I'm a billionaire and I want a large shear. For me, only large. For him, importance is entire contents of a house, nothing less. He's a multi-billionaire. So he's not this individual who set the standard and he set a shear and he said, only the entire, whatever is in my house. So anything less than that is not a chiyuv. Says the Gemara, what Reb Naftali said, so what's the pshat in this? When it's a lot, there is no human being in the world besides Bill Gates and Bezos, and there's 4 people in America that will say that it has to be the whole house, and anything less than but regular people, 99.9% of the people, even a half house, it's enough to be chashuv. But when it comes to seeds, there are a lot of Meshugayim farmers out there, maybe not 100%, but 10-15% of them, that they are machshiv one seed. That is the difference. So it's a real batla daita tzikal adam when it comes to this exaggeration of everything. It has to be $10 million worth versus one seed against 5 seeds. Most people say 5 seeds are chashiv. There are a lot of people though that say 1 seed is chashiv. Here comes the gishmak sugis Rabbi say. Unbelievable stuff. Masnisin loik Reb Shimon Lazar desanya klala Reb Shimon. By the way, we learned this also. But Reb Shimon Lazar holds kol she'eni kosher la'atzniya ve'matzniyin kamayu. If this individual object, let's take the seed, one seed, nobody really stores it, nobody puts it in his drawer. V'huchshel lezel atzniya, but this guy is different than everybody else. Uba acher v'haitzi. So Memela, Reb Shimon Lazar holds that I could affect everybody in the world. If I make this product important to me, then it becomes important to everybody else because it's mine. So I have the right to make my one seed chashuv, and if you touch my one seed and bring it outside in the Rosh Hashanah, you're chayiv because of me. Yes, you don't think it's chashuv, but I do, and I'm the owner. I get to set the standard. That's Reb Shimon Lazar's shita, but our Mishnah obviously doesn't hold like that. All right, here goes. Let's go back to the first page of Masechta Shabbos. There's Akira and Hanacha. In order for me to be chayiv on Eitzah on Shabbos, I have to lift an object up in one domain, let's say Rosh Hashanah, transfer it outside into Rosh Hashanah, and put it down. What if I don't put it down? I'm not chayiv. If somebody else takes it out of my hand, I'm not chayiv. Same thing if I'm walking Dalet Amos in Rosh Hashanah, I have to lift it up, walk 4 Amos, put it down. That's Akira and Anacha. The Gemara talks about beautiful ideas. Mamish lumdis, like real logical thinking going on here. Amar Rava, Amar Rav Nachman. Hoitzi kigur geres lachila. What happened was a person took out the proper amount to be chayiv for eating. What's the proper amount for eating? A dried fig. V'nimlach olel is real. What happens if midway, so he lifted it up, the Akira was with the das that he's going to eat it. Did he have the right amount to be chayiv? Yes, because it's a gregaris. Okay? He starts moving 4 amas. And before he puts it down, he switches his intent. He says, now I am going to plant this food. These seeds that are edible seeds, like, we eat seeds. You could eat them or plant them. Sunflower seeds. He's helping me because I need it. I had already 2. If I have 3, I'll probably be jumping up and down in literally 1 hour and 40 minutes. Says the Gemara, "Hoitziger is la'achila v'nimlach lezriya, inami lezriya v'nimlach la'achila." What about the reverse? He said, "I'm going to plant." Now, planting, this is a lot more than planting. Gregaris, all you need for planting is 5 seeds. He has a gregaris. It's a lot more. So in terms of the shear, we're covered. We have a fig. And then he switches his intent. Midway, chayav. He's chayav. Pshita, what's the chiddush here? Zilhacha ikashura, v'zilhacha ikashura. He took out a fig's worth, and when he put it down, it was a fig's worth. Everything's great. Yeah, so he wanted to eat it, and then he decided he's going to plant it. What's the difference? I would think, says Rav Nachman to Rava, maybe, no, when you do the akira, it has to have the same intent, and your intent was different. Your intents break it up. It makes a hefsek. I had intent to plant, and then I had intent to eat. Or I had intent to eat, and I had intent to plant. Those two machshavas don't go together in the akira and the hanacha. So I have a different akira and different hanacha. They don't go together. I should be pater. V'aleka gamash. It's a beautiful chiddush. Says Rava, listen. Now we got to drill down. We got to tighten this up and really go down to the basics here. What's going on here? By Rava. Hoitzi chaysti groigeres lizriya. He took out a half a fig for planting. That's more than enough. But for achila, it's not enough. There's not enough volume here. You need a full fig. V'tafcha. And miraculously, as he's walking, it blew up somehow. Some sort of, maybe, I don't know, the moisture, whatever happened, I don't care. It went from a half a fig to a full fig. It blew up like a balloon. The hot air got into it and blew it up. Oh, and he says, this is royal achila, it's a full fig. So now we have a beautiful question. What happened? He started out without enough of a shear. It was only a half of a shear. When he did that kira, there was no shear for achila. It was a good shear for zriya. So, and then midway through, he switches his intent to eat. Rav Nachman says, we don't care if you switch intents. The intent doesn't ruin the akira and the hanacha. Says Rava, but what did Rav Nachman mean? Did he mean in all situations, even when there was not enough of a shear to begin with, and he switched his intent, and then the shear grew up, and there's enough shear for the second intent? Or perhaps, you hear what's going on here, Levi? It's mamish, masik midvash. It's going to get better. You cannot space out now, by the way, because we're going 4 steps here. So, nachamo. We said that intent doesn't ruin it. If I start out with the intent of eating, and I finish off, I do an akir with eating, and then I do a hanacha with planting, those 2 intents don't ruin it. It's one oitzah and I'm chayiv. But what happened if I did an intent for planting because I didn't have enough of a shear for eating? Because for eating is a larger shear, you need a full gregaris. I did not have that in my hands. That happened later on, it blew up as I was walking, and then I switched my intent to eating. When I'm putting it down, I have enough shear for eating. But when I started out, I didn't. Could I combine the 2 intents? Now, is Rav Nachman going to agree that I combine 2 intents? Okay, I'll go with you. That in the case of Rav Nachman, it's your chayev, the intents combine, the zilhacha ikashura, the zilhacha ikashura, because in both cases, I started out with a fig, and I ended up with a fig. I just switched my intents, and that's okay. When I started out, I did the akira, I lifted it up. I did not have enough. So he sticks in another knecher. What if he didn't say anything? He didn't change his intent. He would just keep the original intent. Obviously, he would be chayiv, because his original intent was zriya, for planting. And zriya, all you need is 5 small little pits, seeds, and he has a half a gregaris, which is more. So in terms of the shear for zriya is fine. And if he would have continued and put it down, he'd be chayiv. What happened? He changed his intent. But intent changing doesn't make a difference, says Rav Nachman. So maybe it's okay. Maybe he's chayiv because he started out with the zriya. Maybe he is chayiv. Says Rav Avim Timtza Loimar. Okay, let's say he's chayiv. In this case, let me give you a more interesting case. Kivin di ishtak v'lo chashiv. Alei mechayva machshava dezriya. Okay, we'll go with this idea that since had he been quiet and not changed his intent from zriya to achila, he would have been chayiv anyway, because he started with zriya, with a half a fig, and he planted a half a fig, a whole fig, it doesn't matter how much, he planted enough to be chayiv in zriya and he would be chayiv. So what if he changed his intent to eat it in the middle? So what happens in this case? He took out a whole fig's worth for eating, and that is enough to be chayiv on eating. Vitsamka, it shrunk. Somebody shot a laser beam at it, and it poof, it went halfway in. It like less than the shear of a. How does it? You went into cold weather. You went into cold weather. It shrunk. So he goes, you know what? I want to be over Naveira. I'm a big Russia. I thought I was going to be able to put it down and think about eating, but guess what? I lost my shear. Everybody agrees, right? Let's go back a second. You agree with me that if I take out a gregaris of food and think that I'm going to eat it, and before I had a chance to put it down, it shrunk, I am not chayiv. Because my intent was to eat it, and food is always a gregaris. And now it's less than a gregaris. By the time I did the hanacha, I had less than a shear. I am potter. But what happened here is, he goes, I want to be chayiv. How could I come up with an idea to be chayiv? Oh, I'll switch it from eating to planting. And planting, I don't need a full gregaris. Planting, I only need a few seeds.
But he lifted it up.
I lifted it up, I had the shear for eating, and I wanted to eat it. I keep on walking, it shrinks from the cold. Now I can no longer be chayiv for eating it because it's less than a gregaris. So I switched my intent. I said, you know what? I am now going to plant it. And he puts it down on the ground. For planting, it's enough of a shear, but I started out with the achila shear. Could I combine the two intents together? Rav Nachman says I could combine two intents. Maybe not in this case, because it started as at the right shear. Oh, what happened? Over here, had he been quiet, not say anything, he would not be chayiv. Why? Because his first machshava was for food, for eating, and that went away because it's less than a gregaris. So he wouldn't be chayiv. Oy dilma. What?
Why would Rav Nachman say you can combine them? What would be the case for Rav Nachman?
A regular case. I took it out, I thought about eating, and nothing happened to the item, and it was a gregaris, and I put it down thinking that it's for zriya. I changed my intent, but nothing happened to the item in the middle. Over here, we're changing the item, the shear. It's blowing, no physical change to the item. Over here, there's physical changes happening. It's shrinking, it's enlarging, it's expanding, it's doing funny things. Sorry. Now, for the rest of the shear, I'm going to have something stuck in my throat because I don't want to the whole shear. Oh, Baruch Hashem. It's okay. I came out. HaKadosh Baruch Hu took it out without. And if you're going to say that we go what's happening right now and he's chayiv, listen to this one. Same case, but one more step. He thought about eating, and it was the right shear for eating. It was a gregaris. And then it shrunk v'tzamka. Oh, and then the final step was v'chazra v'tafcha. It started the right shear, ended the right shear. The middle, there's a big problem. Does that middle make a hefsek? It's a hefsek. Listen, we're going to have a whole sugya now. I'm just thinking, as an example, because hagdom to the next sugya. A guy walks from his rishos into the rishos Rabbim, but makes a stopover on a Carmelis. Potter. Potter, it's a hefsek. I got to go in one shot. So over here also. Shkoyach, thank you very much. So over here, I made a hefsek. I started out thinking, I want to eat this, and it was the right size. It had the right shear. It was a gregaris. It shrunk, hefsek, blew up again to gregaris. Too bad. That kir and the hanacha were not. What's the word I'm looking for? We're not something with S. What? Trust me, I would never say that word because I can't even say it. They're not frankincense. They're whatever. They're not whatever. They're not one. Okay. Let's talk. Let's take it down 6. What? Continuous, beautiful. Ooh, that's a great word. I like that. Thanks. You got to sit there every day and, okay. It's not continuous. There's a hefsek. So yes, it started out with the right chair and it ended up with the right chair, but there's a hefsek in the middle. I'm not chayiv. The akir and the anacha were different in kachim. If I bring a carbon, for instance, dead, alive, let's say it's dead, and the mizbeach has a problem with it, like one of the stones, a chip in the mizbeach, a little small chip, I can't bring it on the mizbeach, so my carbon goes to the side. Now, even if I repair the mizbeach, I can no longer use my carbon. My carbon was pushed away. Once you push something away, you can't reintroduce it. Whatever the halach is, okay? You have it by karbanis, you have it by mitzvahs, you have it by certain things. Question is, once I push this away, and I said there's no Isser Shabbos over here anymore. Why? Because I can no longer eat it outside. I'm not over the Isser of eating because it's less than a gergeres. In order for me to be chayiv anohitza and taking from one domain to the other domain, it has to be a full gergeres. And then I don't have a full gergeres because it shrunk. Dichui, I pushed it off. Now you want to create a new chiyuv by saying, oh, but I'm going to plant it. Or I'm going to blow it up again. I'm going to blow it up to the right size. Too bad. That's too late. You can't take something and say, this is not chayiv for Shabbos because it's too small, and then introduce sun and air and all your tricks and blow it up again and say, oh, but now it does have this shear. It's too late. It had to have the shear from beginning to end simultaneously was the word I was looking for, continuously. I don't know if simultaneously works here, whatever. In my head it did, continuously, and therefore, dichui. Or no dichui, maybe there's no dichui by Shabbos. Maybe you don't push stuff over. Maybe that's a halacha in karbanas, in mitzvahs. Teiku. We're going to have to wait. If you think this is lumdish and this is gishmak, why? Rava, I don't know how many times, I got to look it up. How many times Rava asks Rav Nachman in Shas, his Rebbe, Boy Rava mir Rav Nachman. Zara kezayis truma lebayis tomei mau. Unbelievable shaila. He takes the shear of olive and throws it into a house. Throws it. Doesn't bring it in, throws it. Mau. So Gemara explains the question. Lamai, Eli in Shabbos, kigurgeres binan. Throwing a kazayis potter, why? As we said, most foods need a fig's worth. A zayis is less than a fig. As you see from the whole Taisis Rishonim, it comes out that a zayis seems like less than a fig. Okay, even today, it's less than a fig. Eli and Tuma, what about to make something else tameh? You need a full egg. So what's the zayis doing here? Oh, loylam li in Shabbos. Uke go in the ikke pochis mit kebeitza ochlin. Vahe mashlim le beitza mai. Gishmak. Rabbi say, listen to this. You need an egg's worth of food in a house that has a dead body in there. You need an egg's worth of food to make other food tummy. The problem is it's missing a little bit. So what does this chacham do? He tosses an olive's worth of food, it lands on the egg, and now you have a whole egg's worth of food to be tummy. What's the question? The question is unbelievable. For Shabbos, in order to be over Reitzah, I need a full fig's worth. But over here, since I accomplished so much by throwing an olive, because now I created tumah. So it's like saying that something is chashav. You know, like when I have one seed, I say, I want to plant it. Oh, all of a sudden I don't need a shear. It's chashav. Over here, I created something. I created tumah. So maybe since I created tumah, I'm chayiv also for Shabbos. Yes, usually I need a krigeres, but not in this case because there's a lot of accomplishment with this olive's worth. Amalei Tanisua. What's your shayla b'chlal? I have a different case. Abel Shalom. Sorry. You have the two breads from Shavuos, and all the breads in the lechem apanim, the shulchan. How much of that bread do you have to take out into Rosh Hashanah? Like every other food in the world. Yes, it's chashav, it's lechem apanim, still needs a gregeres. V'amai leimo midlin yoytzei. Turn the page. Daf tzadik aleph amud beis. Lin Shabbos nami kizayis yoytzei kizayis. Lin Shabbos nami kizayis. Ask the Gemara a beautiful question. In order for me to be over on yoytzei, taking something out of the Beis Hamikdash, nothing to do with Shabbos, hilchos kachim. For me to be over yoytzei, it's one kizayis. Oh, I accomplished so much. I took out a kizayis, so I accomplished so much for Shabbos. I should be chayiv on taking out for Shabbos. I just took out of the Beis Hamikdash a kizayis. Just like for the Isra of Yotzei, the Shir is a Kazayis, and I'm Chayiv if I take it out of the Beis HaMikdash. That should make it Chashuv, where I'm Chayiv for Shabbos. No longer do I need a Shir of a Krigeres, Kazayis is enough, because since it was accomplishing in the case of Yotzei, it should be accomplishing in the case of Shabbos. Says the Gemara, no good raya. I'm going back to the number one. I use this more times than I can count. Here is the Beis HaMikdash, the Azara. If I take out food, where am I chayiv? I don't have to go to the white. Even if I go into the Ezras Nashim, I'm chayiv. Even if I go down here to this area right here, the Chel, chayiv. That's Yotzei. And guess what? Rishus Harabim is further down over here somewhere. I don't know where, but not over here. This is not Rishus Harabim. This is not Rishus Harabim. It's not a street. This is private property. But I'm chayiv and Yotzei. So yes, I'm chayiv and Yotzei. It didn't accomplish anything for Shabbos. Your kasha, was it accomplished Isser Shabbos of Yitzah? It did not. All it accomplished was Isser Yotzei. Shabbos happens 10 minutes later when he gets to Rishus Harabim. Over here, when I throw my alv's worth of food and it lands on top of a fig that's missing a little bit, the fig became ra'ui to be metama another food, and that was over on Isser Shabbos in the same millisecond. It happened together. So maybe since I accomplished for Toma, I should be accomplished for Shabbos. Says the Gemara weiter, so the guy goes from his house with one seed in order to plant. He goes outside. He's chayev. Why? Because in his mind he was machshav this. It started raining. It wasn't comfortable for him to plant anymore. He turns around and brings the seed back into his house. Now he's not planting anymore. So it loses its chashivos. How much do you need to carry seeds in order to be chashiv? 5, according to Rabbi Yehuda. According to Chacham, a little bit less than a gergeres, but not 1. So it changes its shear. Pshita. The Gemara said it's so pashut, it didn't even have to say it. For me, it's not so pashut, but maybe the Gemara wanted to come up with this idea. Omar Abayo, Hachav ma'eskino kegon shezarkoi la'oitzer u'mekoymer nikar. Says the Gemara, he threw it, the one seed, into a storehouse, a warehouse, and you could tell where it landed. Interesting teretz. Since you could isolate it and say, okay, that's where it landed, that's where it is. It remains with the first intent. Once I throw it, all initial intents go away. Why? Because now he's showing. Before, there's no way to indicate that he changed his mind. But over here, he was walking towards his field to plant. Then he throws it back into his house. What does that tell any normal person? That he changed his mind. This seed is no longer for planting. This seed is just a regular seed for eating. Eating is already 5. Zok the Mishnah. Hamoitzi oichlin unesanon al skufa. We have a great picture from Yoni with a little color. Iskufa is a stoop in front of a house. The beginning of the Mishnah is talking about a stoop that's 3 tfachim by 9 tfachim. Up until 9. Can't be more than 9 because once it's 9, it's a Rishus Harabim. You could put your things on it. So it's a little bit less than 9. It's more than 3. Because if it's less than 3 tfachim, it becomes part of the Rishus Harabim. So here's this house. Here's this skufa jotting out into the Rishus Harabim, but it's not a Rishus Harabim, it's not a Rishus HaYachid. What is it? The Gemara is going to say it's a Carmelis. It's a Rishus B'fnei Atzma. As you see, Yoni depicts here beautifully, there's an arrow. He took the fruit, put it on the skufa, stopped over where they stop over today in Athens to refuel, and then he goes. Then he does the next stop is in New York. He goes weiter. Okay, he landed, smooth landing, stops there, thinks about it, and then goes weiter. Whether he himself continued flying out into Rishus Harabim, whether they switched pilots and somebody else did it, potter. When it comes to Shabbos, it has to be continuous. I love that word, Racham Yishkoyach. It has to be continuous. And it's not continuous, there's a stop in the middle. What about a box full of fruit. When his son ala skufa, and he put it on. Now we're talking. Now we're talking about. Yeah, I know, but it's one of these crazy dapim with unbelievable svaras. Sorry, this one, as you can see, Yoni depicted it shorter. It is less than 3 tvachim. Less than 3 tvachim has a halacha of Rishus Harabim, whatever Rishus is going into. What did he do? You see his picture here. Now he changes the word, the Mishnah. Chitzoyna, meaning it's part of the chitzoyn, part of the Rishus Harabim. So you see here, there's a line going through his pot. There's a line. Even though most of it is outside, he has to remove he has to push the whole thing outside. Says the Gemara, let's just describe what the stoop is. If it's 9 tefachim tall, which, remember we learned in the beginning of Masechta, people could undo their knapsack on it, whatever, unload their things and readjust it. It has to be 9 tefachim high. That's Rosh Hashanah. Potter. Wait a minute. If the stoop is a Rosh Hashanah, he just went from Rosh Hashanah to Rosh Hashanah. Bam, he's chayiv. What do I care what the next stop is? Ella skuf Rosh Hashanah. So you're going to tell me what? This is Rosh Hashanah? So what about when he or his friend, the next pilot, comes along and removes it from the stoop and puts it in the Rosh Hashanah? He just went from Rosh Hashanah to Rosh Hashanah. So Mamanavshach, what is this guy? How do you describe the skufa? So we must say, did I miss a word here? You have to say that this stoop is considered a caramelist. It's nishnahi nishtaher. It's not a Rosh Hashanah, it's not a Rosh Hashanah, it's in between like we described. That is because it rested, it stopped. Why? If this is an idea that we discussed also in the Masechta. What if I'm walking? I'm walking, but my 2 feet, as I'm walking, a lot of times, many times, most of the time, as I'm walking, both my feet are on the ground simultaneously at the same time. That should be a hanacha. My body came to rest. If you look at it in slow motion, I stopped. Both feet are there. No. Mahalach lav koy medami. If I'm walking, I'm not standing. And I have to put it down. That's the chiddush here. The Gemara says, the Sanya, if I take it from a Rosh Hashanah, from my store, leplatio to Rosh Hashanah, derech stav, they had these little, what are they called? Itztabas, or stages that they would stage their merchandise on right in front of the store. That's already, also, it's a carmel. It's not Rosh Hashanah, not Rosh Hashanah. You can't really walk there. Chayav ubenazei poiter, because benazei holds mahalach ka'oimedami. So he just made a full stop. Yes, he was walking fast from his store into the Rosh Hashanah, but as he's walking by the Carmelists, that's as if he stopped, halachically. Says the Gemara, I have kishuim v'diluim. Here we go. We're talking about cucumbers, kishuim v'diluim, or gourds. I don't have mustard seeds, but I have little guys. Listen to this unbelievable question. Let's say my Gemara is the beginning of Rosh Hashanah. So I go like this, halfway out. You guys could see on Zoom. Halfway. Okay, my hand is Rosh Hashanah. Half of these dates are in Rosh Hashanah. Half of them are in Rosh Hashanah. But what else is happening here? I have a kli. I have a whole kli. Where's the kli? Do I go by the date or do I go by my kli? My kli is halfway in my house. I'm not chayiv until my whole kli is outside. Says Chizkiah, well, it makes a difference. If I'm talking about something long, cucumbers, so they are not outside. Only half of them are outside. But if I'm talking about something small, even though half of them are outside, but at least one of them is completely in Rosh Hashanah, I should be chayiv. Chizkiah doesn't care about the kli. Chizkiah cares about the fruit inside the kli. The kli is bottled to the fruit. So l'maisa, at the end of the day, I have one piece of mustard seed outside. I have one date outside. Rabbi Yochanan Omar, afilu melei chardal potter. Rabbi Yochanan says, no, I care about the kli. Alma kosover eged kli shmei eged. Then the day, I care about the kli. I don't care how many are outside and inside. I care where's the kli. Look at the kli. That's all you care about. Focus on the kli. The food is bottled to the kli. I don't care what's outside. Omer Zera, I have a big problem. The Mishnah doesn't go not like Chizkiah, not like Reb Yochanan. It could go either way. The wording in the Mishnah could go either way. So what do? And the answer is going to be, each one is going to pick their own way and stick in a word or here and fix the Mishnah according to their own shita. Why? It says in the Mishnah you have to take out the entire pot. Now, why do I have to take out the entire pot? Time of the kol hakupa, hokal peres potter. Alma kasover eged kli shmei eged. It seems from the Mishnah that it goes by the pot, not by the kli. It says in the Mishnah, even though most of it is outside, but what do you mean most? What if all of the fruit were outside, but some of the pot was inside? It's mashma from the Mishnah, you'd be chayiv. It's only because it says roiv. But kol haperes outside, with a little bit of the kli inside, we don't go by the kli. Why? According to Rabbi Yochanan, we have to go by the kli. We don't care at all about the fruit. I don't care about the kli at all. So what do we do with the Mishnah? The Mishnah can't go two ways. Says the Gemara, each one is going to answer it according to himself. Very simple. That's what it says in the Mishnah. You have to stick in. Asterisk. By the way, the Mishnah is only talking about these guys, Kishuin. But if you're talking about anything smaller, no. You have to understand it by yourself, says Chizkiah. It's Pashat. I have one of my dates outside. I have one of my pieces of mustard. Says the Mishnah, even though most of the pears is outside. Veloy pears bavad, says Rashi, this is a loizu afzu. In other words, I'm building up a chiddush. Even if most of the fruit is outside, and not only that, says the Mishnah, even if all of it is outside, it's missing those words. We have to add them. Elafilu kol peiros potter. Why? Because it's all dependent on the pot that's holding it. Eged kli shmei eged. Rabbi, isn't this beautiful stuff today? I'm telling you, Svaras, puts a guy to the shame. It's gewaldig, it's Torah. Unbelievable. Well, Shmuel, I hear what you're saying. Kupas Roichim is asking. Okay. V'loi roiv peres bavad, elo afilu kol peres potter, atchi yoitzi, get ready, Nachman, atchi yoitzi es kol kupa, until, yes, you're right. It has to be the entire pot completely outside of his domain, because it's all dependent on the pot. The words, kol peres is only part of the chiddush, there's more of the chiddush. Have a wonderful Shabbos. Rabbi Isai, Motzei Shabbos, 9:30 Motzei Shabbos, and we're going to learn again, continuing this unbelievable sugi, one of the most famous sugis in Shas, of a goynef kiss on Shabbos. Come be the Rabbi Minei. Unbelievable. We'll continue with the great svaras. Have a wonderful Shabbos. Dylan. Shema Elohim Mama Kim Sikha Adonai. Adonai Shema B'Koli Dina Zechak Shavos Zigol Dachanoi. Im Adonai Shema Yo Adonai Miyamoid. Kim Chas Lichol Leman Tivorei. Mis Adonai Kivson Nafshi L'Dvorei נפשי לאדינוי, שמרים לבויקר, לכי ישראל לאדינוי, גם לאדינוי יחד בבן קדוש. והוא יבדס ישראל מכל אבן יסוף, וכן גם בסיס ישראל, נצא וזו ושם יורים, ושם יורים,